Well, I didn't think I would ever do this, but today is the first day we are filming a vlog style format for my Mark 6. This is quite significant because this is my daily driver. This was always my super low key car that I swore I wouldn't tear into, but recently I've gone pretty much balls to the wall on this setup. All of this was inspired by my hybrid turbo blowing up, and it blew up so bad that it not only took the shaft out and the blade, the casting got cracked by the explosion of the wheel, and the inlet wheel sent shrapnel everywhere. It's literally half the size that it's supposed to be. As of right now, the turbo is out, the CP3 is out, and we chopped into the front end to install this front mount intercooler. So here's a ton of footage of everything we've done to get where we are now.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the pumpkin and the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picks.
That's a lot of fuel. 1 second. I'm back.
The perfect, so I told him I'm a flicker. Bill, I'm in the mood for a change up. I leave the city and return with my change up. They got amnesia, don't remember how they played us.
If you're like me and have no clue what you're doing, but you're building something fast, just rip it apart. You'll fix it later. Pulled off my intake manifold to do some repairs to the glow plug. Oh yeah, I think a time cert should fix that. Now I can get a lot closer for pulling out these glow plugs that are stuck. I don't want to overly exaggerate. I want to keep this content as authentic as possible. 2 of the glow plugs are stuck in the head. This glow plug has come out, but it is completely stuck in there, even though the threads are completely exposed. This one came out about 6 turns and then completely seized. These 2 are completely fine. I actually built one and I'm just now seeing the comment. I had this dent puller kit and I decided to convert it with an end of an old control arm. This is where the bushing went. That's the bottom of the control arm. And I made a little slip for it to go in there with a nut, and I have the exact same thread that's supposed to go on there, an M8125, and it does something like this. It'll slip on. The only downside to this is I've been doing this, like actually putting true effort into it, for about a half hour. I got 1 glow plug out. I got 2 glow plugs out. But as for 3 and 4, well, they're suffering the same consequences as cylinder 1 right now, which is the body swelled under heat. So essentially where the threads are, perfectly fine. The closer you come to the base of the head where the compression and the explosions happen, it's swelled. That one has been pulled out and maybe a little bit tightened up, but essentially the body is catching on the thread. You could see how exposed this cylinder was, and I was able to just pull it right out. Well, 3 and 4 are just as exposed. So basically the thread's completely out. They're so swelled that they're just now touching where the base of the thread would go, and they're not able to be pulled out. You know, the internet is just so smart. It's come out about that much. The head just ripped off of it, but now I'm able to put this back on because this part just ripped off. I think now, yo, this comment was great, dude. It worked amazing. Shout out to that guy because, wow. No way. Is what I said when I found out that this glow plug was no longer looking like this glow plug because the other half of it is snapped off in the head below the securing threads. I'm quite literally. And the best part about all this is that this happened on the last glow plug I pulled. Cylinder 1 came out with no issue. Cylinder 2 didn't even need the puller. Not quite sure why, but I skipped cylinder 3 and I went straight to cylinder 4, which came out in about 2 minutes. And cylinder 3 just I still can't believe that this thing not only bananaed, but ripped off this whole entire top hat and is just stuck right in the hole. Now the only option literally looks like drilling out that hole, getting that out, and then putting a time cert in there. I mean, I don't know any other way. This is not the right tool for the job, and that's exactly why we're using it. money. This is also not the right tool for the job, and that's exactly why we're using this. Worst comes to worst, I rip the head off and I build it, so. Yeah, the tap just snapped in the head. Oh, no, it didn't! It didn't! It didn't! It pulled it out! It pulled it out! Oh my God! Oh my God, that was such a realization moment. Oh my God, this is genuine right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. Praise the fucking Lord. Holy shit. Holy shit. I got it out. And the threads are still good. Holy shit, let's fucking go. Dude, I don't even know what to say. Like, I literally threw this together and was like, imagine this works. It fucking worked! I'm removing my CP4 pump from my Mark 6 TDI. First, I'm removing my cool ball sensor. Then I'm gonna remove this wiring harness. And now these T20s are exposed. And although we could just move the cool ball to the side still attached, I'm gonna use these special pliers to remove it. Just like that. Now I'm gonna pop off the 3 timing cover clips. It's as simple as that. Now our timing belt and gears are exposed. In order to remove the CP4 pump, I need to remove the tension from the timing belt. And in order to get to the timing belt, I need to remove the serpentine belt, which is super easy. You just go like this. And now that belt is out of the way. Now I'm gonna remove the dampener bolts. After removing these, this dampener should just wiggle right off. None of this stuff is actually hard, and if you just look at it in a different way, it can be really fun. We're super close to having access to the timing belt. Now we need to remove these 10 mils in order to remove this shield. Remember, y'all, it's all about them angles. All the bolts removed, I now have access to this bad boy. Now that we're ready to really rip this thing apart, I can go ahead and cam lock and crank lock. Before installing my $15 cam lock tool, I have to make sure that this dowel lines up right about here, that this crown looking thing is facing 12 o'clock. I'm now gonna take this 12.19 and I'm gonna rotate the crank. Now that the dowel's there, to the top, you can see exactly where I'm gonna put this locking pin into the timing gear. Perfect. This is my CJA key, which is gonna allow me to line this dowel up with that hole. Now I'm gonna remove all the tension from the belt, and the tensioner is right here. This part's pretty pointless, but I'm gonna do it just for the heck of it. And now I'm actually able to get all the remaining tension off by hand. Now I'm gonna remove one idler at a time until I get this belt off. All right, that's the first one. Still not enough. I'm gonna take this idler off. Is this a bad time to tell y'all I've actually never done this before in a common rail? Nice. Too late now. All tension seems to be off the belt, and I could hopefully just slide this right out. Guy on the internet was saying to loosen these up with the belt, but I was like, screw that. Those 3 off, I'm pretty sure this should, oh yeah. Here's my CP3 pump. Nice. Gotta take this off. How am I supposed to lock that? Right, I got a plan and the purists are not gonna like it. Instead of sacrificing my locking pin, I got this Allen key. I'm gonna put it through here. Yep. Broke that. Oh no. Good news, we're in luck. I just looked it up and the proper extraction tool looks exactly like this. So I'm literally just using this center bolt with the nut, some extended bolts, and we're gonna impact this, which is then gonna pull this off. I can't even make that up. That was, what, half a second in one little trigger pull? This is the exact reason I don't buy the actual tools. Really, I can't even make this up. It's off. Finally, the last 3 bolts, and this thing should be out. Haha, we got it out. I'm officially going big front mount intercooler on my Mark 6 TDI. Let's get to chopping. Okay, now I think we should be able to just... Hello there, it's me and my old stock intercooler. 1, 2. Now this thing is super low key, will slide back in way easier. Why did I do this? Short answer, my turbo exploded and sent shrapnel into the intercooler, so I needed to get another one. Since I blew my turbo up, I ordered a bigger turbo, and since I needed a new intercooler, I ordered a big front mount intercooler, and I'm adding layers to the cooling system. But since everything in the cooling system is sandwiched around the stock intercooler and needs all these mounting tabs to center everything out, I'm gonna keep it there. Now that I get everything cut out, I'm gonna put it all back together, and when I add the front mount, I reduced the layer, but also added the layer, so everything's gonna flow as if it was stock. Essentially, if I left my stock intercooler and added the layer, things would have heat soaked. Well, this keeps the air flowing straight through, going where it needs to go to the cooling fan. And it is basically just living its life as an air director and a mount. I got a massive front mount intercooler. And the exciting part is that right now, you and me are gonna chop into my front end and we're gonna mount my new 31 by 3 by 12 inch tall front mount intercooler. In order to mount this intercooler, they've given us two options, one being on the top and two being on the bottom. I love where this is going. I've decided in order to mount this, we're gonna use the top mounting bolts and we're gonna go through here. So we have to measure before we chop. I had to find the center line, which was 9.5 inches. And then conveniently enough, the crash bar pad left a mark. So this is the center line of here. So now we have to line these two up and this has to go underneath. Very strategically. Well, the temperature sensor is in the way. Thankfully, it's enough for me to get my measurements, just some rough cut. Now we can go ahead and remove the crash bar, which I had super lightly mounted up. Just like that. And now we can go chop this thing so we can fit an intercooler. Let's go. Well, that's chopped. And now it's mounted back onto the car. So let's check and see how the intercooler fits. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude. Center this out. Oh. And just like that. Dude. Oh, that is so nuts. But Alex, that's your daily. Wait till you see the fuel upgrades and the turbo we're putting in the daily. This shit is gonna be crazy. I'm looking at this thing from every angle right now and I am tweaking right now. Yes, dude. And it clears the AC condenser lines. I'm so happy right now. Finish mounting it up. All I have to do is just drill location holes and this thing will be solid mounted right from the top. As you guys can see, I've been making really good progress on this car. It's only been getting worked on for the last like 3 weeks, but it's been down since late November of 2025. So it's sat for about a month and a half to 2 months. And now it's actually finally starting to get worked on. And I want to get all this done and finished so I can actually start working on the TT. A lot of you guys follow me for the TT. The TT is going to be making a lot of power. Like this is child's play compared to what TT's be making, but I wanted to start with something simple. And I think this is really cool for my channel to actually start coming back alive on long form content, filming some Mark 6 content, getting you guys hyped up and getting myself hyped up, trying to understand how to actually film YouTube videos. Cause like I have a lot of subscribers, but I really don't film a lot of long form content. So I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm excited. We're going to get the CP3 in there. We're going to get the new turbo, which I actually already have and I have to unbox. And then we're going to make an install video. I don't want to give away too much, but I mean, stuff like this even, you know, the glow plug hole, it's completely reamed out. So I've got to do a time cert. So we're going to get content like that. Just like cool little things that I'm actually super excited about. And like, oh my gosh, that front mount is crazy. So this car's actually going to be flowing. If you guys have any guesses of what turbo I'm going to be running, definitely throw that below. Also, if anybody here is a wiring expert, I'm running into some serious issues with my glow plugs and they are definitely holding me back and probably giving me issues. I started ripping into the loom and I didn't see any issues, and I even used my multimeter and couldn't find any issues, but essentially these glow plugs short out within like a couple days of being in the car. And what my theory is that they actually are always on, but I have no real way of testing that. Dude, you drive the car and then you get a misfire and then it goes away and it turns out the glow plug number 1 went bad. And little things like that will drive a man crazy, especially when you can't figure it out, you know? So I don't know, little update on the Mark 6. I'm excited to get back on the channel, but I wanted to bring you guys an update, let you guys know where I'm at, where we're going with this. And anywhere between 280 horsepower to 400 horsepower is the goal. And, yeah, it's just a Mark 6 vibe. I'm trying to get back onto the platform to figure out what kind of content you guys like, how I even should be filming this stuff, and it's really cool getting back into it. So I hope you guys are excited. Let me know what you want to see, and let me know if there's anything you would change about this setup or the way I'm filming. On that note, I got to get to work on this, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and if you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.